How do I get these bar chords to work? It's just driving me crazy. I've got these sort of... My fingers won't press down. How am I going to go about this? Well, let's have a look at some mechanics here. When you're trying to press your finger down across all 6 strings on the guitar, it can be really frustrating. And actually, it's not about how much pressure you apply, it's about the sort of mechanics and the stance and the position of your hand, and also the position within the fret space itself. On the other camera, you may be able to see that I've got basically a slightly closer view of the fretboard here. Now, to begin with any musical instrument, really it's about minimizing your contact with it. I know it sounds a bit daft, but you don't want to be clutching the guitar neck or trying to do this or anything like that, because actually you're working much, much too hard. So the first thing to do is to get your thumb so that it goes on the center of the neck, not round it like that. So bringing your thumb round like that so that it essentially is underneath the shape, underneath your chord. Now with the index finger, the ideal thing is to make it straight all the way from your knuckle to the tip of your finger, all the way from there to there, to try and work out where the joint of your finger is going to land so that it doesn't sort of go between 2 strings. So for some people it may be there or there or there or whatever, but it's keeping this straight. So you end up with a shape that's like that. So you got your thumb underneath the neck there, and then your finger that goes all the way across it. Next thing to do is to make sure that you press it down right behind the fret, nowhere here, because if you press down there you have to apply more pressure in order to make the strings, all 6 strings touch the fret. So you can end up with something like this. If you just move it up to the fret, you'll get all of the strings to sound with minimal pressure. Actually, it's all about the mechanics and the position of your 2 fingers, of your thumb and your forefinger. Then the other fingers essentially have to curve to find the chord shape. And when you're changing between bar chords, let's say you get that and that's G. If I want to go to B flat, which is the bar at 6 for example, the best thing to do here is simply to release the pressure of your bar and your thumb, keep the shape of this, move that up, reapply the pressure and put the bar back down. Notice in both cases that I have my bar right behind the fret here. Because if I play the bar chord with the bar here, I'm getting muted notes because my finger isn't pressing down, because it's doing this across the neck instead of that. So it's straightening. Now, in order to straighten your finger, if you move your thumb round, it forces your knuckle to come above the level of the neck here, so that it's above like that. So it's worth experimenting, of course, with the position of your thumb, but there should be a space underneath your hand here. You should be able to get a Sharpie pen or something through the gap between your hands so that you are minimizing your contact with the neck. Now this also goes for scales. If you're playing a minor pentatonic, for example, imagine you can hold the golf ball in the palm of your hand, imagining there's enough space to fit that golf ball in so that it doesn't sort of get in the way of the neck. So it's about minimizing contact. Really, that's rule 1A. And the second one is to try and get your finger straight from knuckle to tip, and then with the bar fingers, well, with the chord fingers rather, to approach from a vertical angle so you haven't got this. Because if you do have the fingers at an angle, the bar might work, but then the chord shape doesn't. So it's a case of getting this finger flat and these fingers to approach so that the last joint of each finger is as vertical as possible so that it doesn't catch any of the other strings. This is especially difficult if you've got a C shape, for example. This is an E flat chord now because I'm barring at 3. So you can hear all 5 strings there. I don't play the 6th one here because the root note is actually the 5th string. But if I have this, it can very quickly unravel. So it's really the adjustment of, you know, a few millimeters to get this to work. It'd be nice if it was in tune.